Hi, I'm Rachel, and this is my BookTube Spin TBR game for the first quarter of 2026. The BookTube Spin was brought to BookTube by Rick McDonnell. He based it off of a game played on literary blogs where they would comprise a list of 20 titles, usually siphoned off into 4 lists of 5 in a topic, and then they would spin a wheel to determine which would be their next book to read. And so I've been playing this game for a few years now and making my own rules along the way. I have 4 fixed categories I play with every quarter. I start with Jewish romance, then general literature, then science fiction, and then fantasy. I spin a wheel 3 times, and then I choose the book that I've read from least recently in the game. So as you can see here, I spun from each wedge last quarter, and most long ago I spun from general literature. So that's what I'm hoping to get, or if not that, then Jewish romance. I've added a couple of other iterations to the game as well. I've added what I call a thumb to the scale, because as I spin each year and choose a book, I eliminate that number from the spinner wheel for the rest of the year as I play this quarterly. But this year I decided to go even further and put my palm on the scale. So, last year I eliminated 4 numbers from the wheel, but instead of reinstating them this year, I'm going to keep them off. And that means technically I'm only playing with 16 numbers this time. The major reason I'm keeping them off is because I have some books that have been in this game for years, and I want to get them off the wheel. So I'm doing what I can to, fight fate here. So that's my agenda. And after I do all of this, I will go ahead and spin the wheel with all 20 in case anyone in the audience wants to play with all 20 numbers on the wheel. So without further ado, let's get into this. I'm going to start by summarizing the 16 titles that are on my wheel, and then I will do my spins. So here we go. Starting with my first category, Jewish romance, my first title is Imogen Obviously by Becky Albertalli. This is YA romance with nominally Jewish characters. Imogen, a senior in high school, thinks she's a straight LGBTQ ally, but when new relationships have her questioning her sexual identity, she's accused of identity appropriation. This seems kind of hard-hitting about policing others in the name of social justice. Number 2 is Recommended for You by Laura Silverman. Bookseller Shoshana is gunning for a holiday bonus, but the only thing standing in her way is annoying, non-literary, hot Jewish bachelor, Jake Kaplan. I think we know where this goes. Book number 3 I'm nixing as a 2025 pick. Book number 4 is Marry Me by Midnight by Felicia Grossman. After her father's untimely death, Isabella must secure a marriage outside of the powerful Barab family in order to maintain her own influence in her family company. Could Erin Ellenberg, the community outsider, answer her prayers? This is a Jewish Victorian gender-bent Cinderella retelling. And number 5 is Meant to Be Mine by Hannah Orenstein. Edie's grandmother Gloria predicted the exact date Edie would meet her beshert, Yiddish for soulmate. But although she meets an attractive musician at the right time, Edie finds out that predetermination isn't as simple a concept as she believed. What if a relationship includes some rocky waters as well? Moving into general literature, I'm starting with a nix for number 6 as a 2025 read. Number 7 is The Island of Missing Trees by Elif Shafak. Spanning several decades, we start with an illicit love affair between a Greek Cypriot and a Turkish Cypriot. We follow war and displacement and commentary on the natural world. Number 8 is The Road to Dalton by Shannon Bovering. In 1990s Dalton, Maine, one community member's actions lead to her neighbors grappling with the big and small conflicts of their lives. Number 9 is The Other Westmore by Wes Moore. My governor, a successful Black American, tracks down an imprisoned drug dealer who shares his name, age roughly, and city of origin. This is a testament to what helps kids succeed and fail. And number 10 is Dolls of Our Lives by Mary Mahoney and Allison Herrocks. The hosts of the Dolls of Our Lives podcast discuss the origins and legacy of the American Girl brand. Now into science fiction, again starting with a Nix as number 11 is a 2025 pick. Number 12 is Ancestral Night by Elizabeth Bear. A routine salvage mission in space goes awry when an ancient technology is uncovered. Number 13 is Pushing Ice by Alistair Reynolds. A rockhopper crew is tasked with tailing one of Saturn's moons as it breaks orbit and leaves the solar system. Number 14 is Lightless by C.A. Higgins. Computer scientist Althea is closer to her spacecraft than any of its crew, but she must put her surveillance skills to the test to foil a terrorist plot. And number 15 is On the Edge of Gone by Corinne Doivus. As a comet moves to strike Earth, our teenage protagonist fights against an unjust system to survive. And finally, we move into fantasy, starting with number 16, A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula Le Guin. This is a YA classic about a young sorcerer who tampered with a long-held secrets and unleashed a terrible shadow onto the world. Number 17 is The Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons. A man discovers his fate is tied up with that of an empire, and he may be here not to save the world, but to destroy it. Number 18 I'm nixing as a 2025 pick. Number 19 is A Queen in Hiding by Sarah Kozloff. An orphaned princess becomes a guerrilla fighter and must assemble a group of rebels to take back her kingdom. And finally, number 20 is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. A young peasant girl discovers she has an unearthly power, but the war she fights for her god may cost her her humanity. All right, and let's get into it, starting with spin number 1. Well, spin number 1 brings us into fantasy with The Ruin of Kings, but I read fantasy at the latter half of last year, so hopefully I'll get something closer to general literature in my next 2. We shall see. Let's move on to spin number 2. Well, there we have it. Spin number 2 did what I asked and brought us into general literature, most specifically into The Other Wes Moore by Wes Moore. So likely that's what I'll be choosing, but let's just spin one final time as the rules of my game go. If I spin another general literature, I'll have to decide which one to choose of the 2, but let's see where we go. And finally, for me, spin number 3. Man, oh man, every time I say something in this game, the wheel actually does what I say, and in this case, it did bring me to another general literature pick, which was The Island of Missing Trees by Elif Shafak. And that is the book I've decided to go with this quarter, first and foremost, because I own it, so getting it off the physical shelves as well. And also, I have an additional reading resolution I put up this year to read an author's backlist, and I was specifically looking at Elif Shafak, so this is setting me down the path that, now I'll read one of her books and hopefully get to a couple of others within 2026 as well. And finally, here I am with an audience spin. All 20 numbers are on the wheel, so here we go. Well, what do you know? It's number 17 again. Isn't that what I got for spin number 1? I think it is. So whatever is in your 17th spot, I hope it's something you enjoy. And that about covers it for me now. I will leave the Goodreads links for all of the books I've referenced down below in case you'd like more information, as well as a link to my TBR Games playlist where I've played this game in the past. And I've also played my page 112 tag in the past, which is my monthly TBR game. Speaking of which, that should be my next video on this channel, so stay tuned. Hopefully I'll have that up very soon. I hope you are all enjoying your reading, no matter how you are accumulating your lists. And thank you again to Rick McDonnell for bringing this game to BookTube, because I've very much enjoyed playing it for the last few years. And thanks so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you next time.